Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kesil, and today I'm joined by someone I've been looking forward to chatting with, Keith Howell, who's been making serious moves in the real estate investing space. Keith, I'm glad to have you here. I think our listeners are really going to take something away from how you're approaching your business. So let's dive in. So first off, for those people that may not be familiar with you and how you're running things in your world, we would love to hear a short version of what your main focus is these days.
Yeah, well, first off, thank you so much for having me today. I've been excited and looking forward to this, for a little while now. As far as what we're doing today and where we're at with the real estate market, is that it's a challenging market out there for a lot of agents and sellers. And right now, because of the changes and the shifts that have happened in the last couple of years in the real estate market, they need now more than ever agents that have skill sets and understand and can break the information down, because they can break numbers down, and numbers are the language of business and they always tell a story. So that's what we're really here for. That's the boring side of it all, right? And so the more exciting part is helping people accomplish their goals, helping them talk about what their goal is and figure out their goal and get them to where they are. Whether it's moving to a new opportunity in another state, whether it's expanding their families, whether or not it's building their wealth. That's always exciting, and we always want to help people get there. We call it success through partnership, and that's what we want to do with all of our clients. And again, but you can't do that if you don't understand the numbers and the language and have that and really hone in on those skill sets of what buyers and sellers are doing today.
Yeah, absolutely. And what markets are you operating in?
I operate in the Dallas-Fort Worth markets, specifically. I work throughout and help people throughout the state of Texas as well, all the way. And I don't know where all of your or your audience is from, but Texas is really large. You could be going working with people in McAllen near the border. You can be working with people down in Houston. These are all places that are 5-6 hours, sometimes 9-10 hours away. And you just help them, get connected with great professionals to get their goals met. But I particularly work with expired markets, so helping homes sell that didn't sell the first time for whatever reason. I also work heavily with veterans. Veterans are a huge portion of my business. I myself am a veteran, so we kind of just tend to find each other. It's just kind of a natural thing that happens in that state. So those are probably the biggest markets that I'm a part of, as far as my business and where we're at.
Yeah, that's amazing. So What caught my attention was that you mentioned expired markets and working with those.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
That's not easy, especially in this climate. What's been the key to keeping that running smoothly in that process?
The key with that, and I mentioned expireds. I actually probably should have mentioned for sell by owners as well, because it's the same concept. Because before 2023, when the Fed kept the rates up started raising rates and then keeping them higher for longer was the stated goal. And before then, selling homes, they were going so fast because of how much of a seller's market it was. Here in DFW, I mean, we were under less than 30 days of inventory for what was over a decade, and only accelerated after post-COVID. And so people were able to sell relatively quickly. They were able to name their price. For sell by owners was working, and so they were able to sell their homes. And so, the value of an agent kind of got lost. And so now, where you have markets that it's more challenging to sell, the biggest thing is price, right? The biggest thing, you can never price a home too low, but you can absolutely price that home too high. And a lot of times the strategy behind the price is the number one thing that you're going to get a home sold. Matter of fact, one of the things we talk with our clients about is like, look, the fastest way to get a buyer to put an offer on your contract is a price reduction. That's the fastest way to get to a close. However, beyond that, agents got, I don't want to talk negatively about agents, but I'll just bring it up as an industry standard, because it was so easy to sell a home. I would say the standards of what listings look like was not up to par, right? So like when we go into a home, we pay for professional staging. We pay for professional photography. We do a lot of drones. We found that twilight photos help. So we just have a different strategy, and we make sure we give all that to our sellers and give them the most exposure possible. Social media is huge in today's market, getting out there. And so just not every agent is either aware or is doing that. A lot of our expireds, we see either they're at the wrong price point, they didn't strategically price, or they didn't do any price reductions. And the biggest complaint that I hear of when a listing goes expired is they didn't get enough communication and feedback from their agent. And it's because people don't want to have uncomfortable conversations. But that agent could have kept that business and got that home sold if they would have just said, hey, the market's rejecting your price. The market has rejected the price that you want. Let's go find the price that it will get this home sold. And that's hard for people to let go of what their perceived value is and the money that they're going to lose. But again, that goes back to what was your goal? What was your stated goal? Where were you trying to go, right? I understand you're going to not sell as much as you're going to get, as much as you were before. However, you are going to get to that new home, that new area, maybe that you're an out of state trying to go to a new opportunity, or you wanted to be in a different school district. Whatever it is that was your original intended goal, that's where we want to get you to. And again, the price is determined by the market, not me as the agent, not you as a seller. It's determined by the market. So that's the biggest challenge and hurdle to get over, and the opportunity there with expireds and for sell by owners for that matter, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, every operator I know also has a moment when things got real. Maybe a deal went sideways or a time they had to pivot fast. Do you mind sharing one of those moments for you?
Ooh, I would say most deals you have to pivot fast on because there's always something.
Hmm.
Everything always has things that change, move.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Um, Man, when you said that, the first one that came to mind was a deal where a gentleman decided the day before closing that he just didn't want to. He didn't want to close on the house because he was worried about because his boss didn't like him, and he was worried about not having a job. And it was like, okay, I can empathize with that, but we've already gone through everything that this transaction needed, right? We had the appraisal, we had the inspections, we had done repairs, we had done it all, and we were ready to go. And it was there how the seller was had a contingency on that home to go buy another home, and there was a contingency on that home to go buy another home, and it actually went down 8 times that way. The only reason why I know about that is because all eight and this isn't always the situation you want to be in, but all eight of them said that they were going to file suit if he didn't close, which, that's getting into really, really dicey territory, right? Um, Fortunately, we were able to move forward with that transaction and he did close. And I did follow up with him because that's one thing that I would encourage folks to do is when you're in a bad situation, give it some time and still follow up because if you care about people, you want to know that they're okay and that things worked itself out. And fortunately for that guy, he actually ended up getting promoted. Not he didn't get fired, and he lived in the home, he loved it. But navigating through that, being worried about lawsuits, being worried about potentially millions of dollars of transactions not going through, that can be pretty stressful and that can be worrisome. All you can do is just observe on the situation, understand what happened, and then just try and have the conversation and expectations with folks.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff people don't talk about enough. And it separates the folks who are just dabbling in the industry and the ones that are in the game for a long term.
Hey, and let me just say this: like those transactions are tough. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say they're not every transaction, because it's a wide range, and it's important to note that so that you stay positive. Like I just had a transaction that I showed them one home. They offered full price. The seller loved them. They thought they were in a multiple offer situation. They picked them because it was their first time home buyers. They loved them. They thought they were great. And all that came back on the inspection report is that the HVAC needed to be repaired, right? And so like that transaction is going to close with relatively no issues. So it happens on the other side as well, right? You have a range. Now, not every transaction is that way either. So it's important to note to remain positive and to just know that you don't need to be afraid of those hairy situations and the difficult situations, because you'll find a way through those. And for every one of those you have, you'll end up having one that is, the easiest transaction you've ever done.
Yeah, totally. So let me ask you this. What are you most focused on solving or scaling next? Like, what is that real next goal for you?
Uh, Let me clarify that question for me as an individual or for my clients.
Whatever you'd like to speak on. It could be like you and your business as a whole, or how your business can solve that problem for your clients.
Okay. Yeah, no, the biggest focus we have right now is solving the interest rate issue for our clients. That is the biggest one, which we can do through new construction. We can do, which are offering lower rates. We can do through getting sellers concessions to buy down rates. and getting partnered with fantastic lenders. That is a way to get that solved. The other issue for our sellers out there is
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Is to solve the marketing issue, right? Like being able to market and being able to stand out amongst other homes, and then also not give up their entire equity. As an example, like we work with a program called List and Lock, where we set the price at the full price, and they pick how much sellers concessions they're going to give, 2-3%, and then the lender will match a percentage on top of that. So then they're able to advertise that they're, if you buy this home with our lender, then it's at 5.5 to beat the 6-7% interest rate that they're getting. And then they're competing with the builders around them because they're at the same interest rate that they're at, right? So those are the challenges that we're helping and with our clients to overcome. For me personally, right, it's all about growth. It's all about, because if you're not growing, you're dying. Establishing the vision for the next 5-10 years, and even after that, the next 20 years after that, because that's not as easy as people realize, because it's not about, oh, I want to have more income, or I want to have a little better house, or I want to have a boat, whatever it is. It's about creating an infinite goal that is to help either people or to help a cause or a movement. And that's the biggest thing that we're working on now, because I spent 18 years in the service. I actually still serve in the Air National Guard. And I've given to that purpose for a very long time. And so my goal from a personal standpoint is, okay, what's the next purpose that we want to do with myself and our business? And we've talked a lot about what that is, and my wife is a big part of that conversation, because she's the one that has to deal with me, and so knowing that we're partnered up and then seeing where we want to go. That's been the big challenge actually in the last 2-3 months that we've been trying to overcome.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah. So, what specifically do you feel like you're taking action on or moving to in order to reach that goal? Is there anything that you would like to share about that?
Sure. A couple of things that I take action on is talking about it with mentors, right? Mentors that have talked with me and explaining the why and the focus. Because if I'm honest, what happened is I had a goal, a financial goal, and I had a stated purpose, and I hit that relatively easily. And so now I have to revisualize. That's been the biggest issue, because now what happens is you get to a certain level and then you're like, oh wow, now I can go even more, even further, right? And I'm like, actually that goal was too small. So that there's that. The other thing is that I use a lot of AI and ChatGPT to create projects that I want to work on, and kind of to help me organize, and help me kind of work through the steps, the next planning steps, right? As an example, one of the things that we want to work on is a leadership course and curriculum called 1% Leadership. It's something that I'm working on, and that's actually outside of real estate. But you can use real estate to fuel and fund all of the things that you want to do, right? So pushing that agenda, which that consists of interviews, that consists of curriculum building. There's just a lot to go along with that, and it's not something that's going to happen today or tomorrow. It's going to be definitely a long-term process. So that's an example of one. Another one that's a passion for me and my wife is we want to eventually get into building hospitals around the world. We think that is huge. We found partnership groups that you can invest in, and that's something that we've talked about as well, right? Because we just think that would be a great impact and a legacy to leave. But again, those are our long-term visions. So those are things that we've got to work on today and find the action steps today to take forward and move into those. So those are some things that we've been working on.
Yeah, amazing. Now, I know a lot of people listening are either early in their journey or just looking to level up, and I think they would really benefit from hearing this. When it comes to building relationships or just growing your network, what do you feel made the biggest difference for you?
Okay, so if you already have, like, your biggest network builder is going to be the contacts in your phone right now, right? And whether or not those contacts will pick up and know who you are. The biggest thing is just call them. We talk a lot about scripts and dialogues in real estate. And when I first started, I worked on the scripts of like calling your sphere of influence. And to be honest with you, I didn't feel it just didn't work. It just wasn't working for me, because I felt like I was selling people that I knew, and I don't like doing that. I have no problem selling people I don't know. That's why FSBOs and expireds have been something that I think I gravitate towards, because then the scripts don't feel so scripty, because you're just like, I don't know this person, and I'm just going to deliver them communication that helps them hear what I have to say. Because the scripts aren't about selling people, it's about communicating in a way they can understand, right? And then you feeling confident, right? That's really at the end of the day what it's all about. But with your network of people that you just call them and talk to them and say, hey, how's it going? Find out. There's a book called Ninja Selling that does FORWARD acronym. Let's see, family, occupation, recreation, and man, I'm gonna mess up the D because I'm under pressure. But anyways, it's just all about um, you know learning about them and what's going on, and then taking notes. There's nothing wrong with taking notes on the friends and family that you have and acquaintances that you have. And I'll tell you this, people are more than willing to help you. They're more than willing. They want you to ask them for help. They want you to ask them for their business because they want to help you. You just don't think that they do. But the truth is that everyone wants to help you, because in general, people are really good. They're really kind, and that's what they want to do. So I'd say that's the best way to build your network.
Yeah, relationships are everything in this space.
Mm-hmm.
All
100%.
right. So before we wrap up, if someone wants to reach out to you, connect with you, collaborate, or just learn more about what you're doing, what is the best way for them to reach you?
At the end of the day, I mean, my cell phone is the best way to reach me, because you get you get information overload. But the best way to reach me is through my social media campaigns of, especially like our Facebook and Instagram page. We've got Keith Realty Solutions, is the handle for most of our Instagram, or for Instagram, and I think it's Keith Howell Realty Solutions for Facebook, if I'm not mistaken. That's usually the best way for them to reach out and reach us.
Perfect. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, your story, and your perspective. We really need more people in this space that are doing things in this right way. So thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
And for those of you tuning in, if you got value from this, make sure that you're subscribed. We've got more conversations coming with operators just like Keith who are out there building real businesses. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.